What if I told you that a nation doesn't have to be conquered by an army to be destroyed? What if the collapse of a superpower isn't an accident, but a mathematical inevitability engineered from the inside out? We are witnessing the greatest wealth transfer in modern history, but it's not just money moving, it is the lifeblood of a civilization draining away. Look at this graph. Burn it into your retina. The mainstream media calls this an economic adjustment. By the end of this video, I'm going to prove to you that this is actually a death warrant for the West and tell you exactly where the escape pods are launching from. Turn on the TV in London and the talking heads will tell you the same tired story. They say the UK is struggling because of global headwinds. They say we need to fill the black hole in the finances. They tell you that taxing the rich is the moral solution to save the public services. It is a lie, a malicious, quantifiable lie. Here is the smoking gun they refuse to show you on the 6 o'clock news. According to the Henley & Partners Private Wealth Migration Report, the UK lost the most millionaires in the world this year. Let that sink in. The United Kingdom, the birthplace of modern capitalism, is hemorrhaging more wealth than communist China. Think about the level of systemic failure required to beat an authoritarian surveillance state at chasing away your own citizens. There is a specific term for what is happening. They won't teach you this in economics class because they don't want you to recognize the symptoms. It's called Anarcho-tyranny. It means the state is ruthlessly tyrannical against the law-abiding citizen, taxing you, monitoring you, policing your speech, while simultaneously declaring total anarchy for the criminal, the illegal entrant, and the social destabilizer. It is a deliberate inversion of order, and the wealthy, they aren't waiting for the punchline. Let's look at the data. The Socialist Dream versus the Arab reality. In the UK, if you are successful, you are the enemy. You pay a 50% tax rate. You are demonized by the press. You are told your history is evil, your culture is racist, and your very existence is oppressive. Now look at Dubai. They gained the most millionaires globally this year. Why? It's not just the weather, it's the contract. In Dubai, there is zero income tax, zero capital gains tax, but it goes deeper. While the UK taxes its natives to fund giant asylum slums for people who despise them, the UAE government works exclusively for its natives. If you are an Emirati, you get a free plot of land, you get interest-free loans to build your home, you get free education worldwide. But the taxes and the migration numbers, that's just the surface level. That's what the financial papers talk about. What I'm about to show you ties this directly to the collapse of the Roman Empire. There is a biological component to this collapse that almost no one is talking about, and it connects the death of the British economy to a specific globalist agenda. You won't believe the connections when you see the fertility charts I have coming up. But first, hit the like button if you suspect the news has been lying to you about the true state of the economy. Do it now, because the algorithm hates this video. The lefts are cute, aren't they? They genuinely believe that if you increase taxes, revenue goes up. It is the logic of a parasite that thinks it can drain 100% of the host's blood and still have a host tomorrow. The UK is leading the outflows. Where is it going? Little Monaco gained 11 billion in wealth. The UAE, Switzerland, the US. These are the big winners. This is a zero-sum game. When Britain loses a millionaire, it doesn't just lose a guy in a top hat. It loses the businesses he started, the jobs he created, and the capital that keeps the lights on. Why do socialists always make the same mistakes? Because their ideology requires them to ignore human nature. They scream, "Eat the rich," and then act shocked when the rich pack their bags and move to a jurisdiction that treats them like clients rather than criminals. They did it in Rhodesia in the 1970s. They did it in Venezuela in the 2000s. And now they are doing it in the United Kingdom in the 2020s. The thread tying them all together is the politics of envy. The strategy is always the same. Identify the productive class, vilify them as the source of all inequality, confiscate their wealth to fund a bloated state apparatus, watch as the competent people leave, watch as the infrastructure crumbles, blame external forces, repeat until total collapse. A nation is not just lines on a map, it is the people. The UK is going through a fertility collapse. The native population is shrinking. To fix this, the government imports millions of people who have no connection to the history or culture of the land. The UK natives are told they are Nazis for noticing that their towns have changed, while they pay 50% of their income to house people who arrived yesterday on a dinghy. Compare that to Dubai. The fertility rate is 3.3 per Emirati woman. Why? Because the state removes the friction of life. You want a family? Here is a house. Here is a job. Here is safety. The UK creates friction. Dubai creates flow. This exodus is unprecedented. We aren't just talking about billionaires. We are talking about doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, the global talent the UK claims it wants to attract. They are looking at their tax bill, looking at the crumbling NHS, looking at the crime rates, and looking at Dubai. And the choice is obvious. No taxes, safe streets. A government that unapologetically prioritizes its own citizens. It's not rocket science. It's incentives. So why does this matter to you? Maybe you aren't a millionaire. Maybe you can't move to Dubai tomorrow. Here's the terrifying truth. When the rich leave, the tax burden doesn't disappear. It falls on you. The middle class, the working class. When the whales swim away, the sharks start eating the minnows. You will see higher council taxes. You will see VAT increases. You will see the retirement age pushed back to 75. You will work harder, for longer, for currency that is worth less, to fund a system that hates you. This is just starting, guys. The change will be massive. We are moving from a West-centric world to a decentralized world of city-states and sovereign individuals. The UK is a case study in failure. It is a monument to what happens when you prioritize feelings over facts and redistribution over production. The capital is gone. The talent is leaving, and the lights are flickering. Remember this graph from the start? I told you it was a death warrant. Now you know why. This isn't just a recession line. This is the heartbeat of a civilization flatlining. The wealthy aren't fleeing because they are greedy. They are fleeing because they have the means to survive the crash. They are the canaries in the coal mine, and the canary just died. The system relies on your ignorance. They rely on you believing that taxing the rich will solve your problems, while the rich are already sipping mocktails in the Jumeirah Beach residence. Don't be the casualty of their failed experiment. You need to get smart about your location, your assets, and your mindset. If you want to understand how to protect yourself when the West collapses, subscribe to the channel. We are building a resistance of critical thinkers who refuse to go down with the ship. Comment below, is the UK finished, or can it be saved? I want to see the debate in the comments. I'll be reading everything.